Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Salix Iverson, joined by our forecaster for this week's show, Michael Jablonski. Well, MJ, we've had a few days of sunshine and a few days of rain this week, so what can we expect for Easter weekend?
Well, Salix, it's definitely been a chaotic week as far as weather goes, and I'm sure plenty of people are hoping to go outside this weekend, which is why I'm glad to say that the upcoming days will be calmer by comparison. Of course, I'll go more into what everyone can expect during the Central PA forecast.
Well, I know that I'm excited that it's finally the month of April, which means it will be warmer outside and we're just a little bit closer to the end of the semester. In any case, for this week's Nature in the News, I'll be talking about a recent volcanic eruption in Iceland and how climate change may impact allergy season. How about you, MJ?
For my Nature in the News stories, I'll be talking about how cities are taking one simple action to save thousands of birds, as well as how puppies hold the key to better communication. We also have a feature from our very own Joe Ruch on the always important topic of severe weather safety.
But first, here is Nature in the News.
Throughout the past few decades, scientists have been trying to understand the interactions between us and our environment. A recent study did this by looking into our interactions with other animals, and it did so in an unexpected way with 400 puppies. According to the researchers, puppies were the best choice for their tests as it is not only easier to interact with them, but it is also easier to find a link between their behaviors and genetics. The tasks that the puppies performed were simple ones, such as picking a random cup that a researcher would point at or reacting to the voices of the researchers. The results of these tests, however, were surprising. The puppies were not trained in any sort of way, nor were there any patterns for them to pick up on. Yet the success rate of these puppies, which was too high to be coincidental, meant that their ability to understand humans wasn't learned, it's genetic. Now, this study is still ongoing, as researchers are currently looking at the DNA of these puppies to determine the genomes responsible for such traits. But hopefully, understanding these forms of communication will allow us to interact better with the various animals across our planet, and maybe in the process, we'll improve our interactions with each other as well.
As the month of April quickly arrives, so does warmer weather and allergy season. A new study has discovered that climate change may play a role in the length and timing of allergy season. This study found that rising temperatures from human-induced climate change is the leading factor. Warmer weather is arriving earlier and leaving later, leading to the growing season and pollen season to also become longer. In State College, our growing season has increased by 22 days since 1970. Additionally, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere can impact pollen amounts due to increased plant growth. With a longer growing season and increasing pollen amounts, millions of people across the United States who suffer from allergies and asthma are at risk. This discovery only adds to the growing list of impacts caused by climate change.
Each spring, millions of birds fly across the U.S. as part of their annual migration. Major cities across the U.S. are deciding to play a role in making this journey a little bit safer. Birds commonly travel at night, using the constellations to guide their flights. Over the past few decades, however, an increase in artificial light from tall buildings has disrupted these journeys. As a result, thousands upon thousands of birds meet their demise each year as they collide into the glass of the skyscrapers. These occurrences are not only bad for the birds themselves, some of whom are endangered, but also the ecosystems which rely on them. Birds play an important role in the environment, often helping plants pollinate and eating pests that can get out of hand. The entire food chain could suffer if bird populations continue to decline. In order to combat the problem of light pollution and save the birds, many cities across the U.S. are agreeing to keep their buildings dark during the spring and fall nights. Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, and others are among the growing number of places joining this lights out effort. And as beautiful as the bright city skyline may be at night, giving up this site will allow us to preserve an even more beautiful picture, that of a healthy environment.
Scientists in Iceland now believe that a volcanic eruption will last longer than originally anticipated. On March 19th, lava broke through the surface near a shield volcano in the southwestern region of the country, 25 miles from the capital, Reykjavik. Due to the rate of lava flow from the start of the eruption to the present day, scientists suspect that the event could go on for a while. Experts say that it poses no threat to the surrounding areas due to the location of the eruption, but that didn't stop locals from visiting the volcano. Spectators hiked 90 minutes from the nearest road and have been using the lava to grill a variety of foods from sausage to marshmallows. At the moment, the site is still relatively safe, but local authorities are continuing to watch for toxic emissions.
Hello, student meteorologist Michael Jablonski, back at it again with the Central PA forecast, and chilly to cheerful seems to be the outlook you can expect as we go into Friday here. As you'll see, we have some chances for snow showers occurring along the Pennsylvania-New York border, but for the most part, it should remain sunny throughout the day on Friday for the Commonwealth. You will see some chilly conditions making its way in through Canada, so it'll be particularly below average temps for this time of year, and the presence of wind will make it feel even colder going into Friday night. So definitely something to keep in mind. But taking a look at Saturday's weather, you'll see some rain showers occurring over the Great Lakes, which could have effect on weather in the Erie region, but otherwise, the rest of Pennsylvania should see a mix of sun and clouds and much more mild conditions, definitely closer to what you would expect for early April. And taking a look at Easter Sunday's weather, you'll see that it is very pleasant throughout the day. No rain to worry about, above average temperatures for this time of year, and sunny conditions throughout the day. So if you do have any plans for Easter, definitely a great day to do something. You will see that low pressure system hovering around upstate New York, but anything that happens there shouldn't have an effect on the conditions for PA. But taking a look at the day-to-day temperatures, Friday, you'll have a high of 38 degrees. So again, mostly sunny, well below average for this time of year, and the presence of wind on Friday and into Friday night will make that real feel even lower. As you'll see, the temperature will drop down to 25 degrees, so definitely chilly outside if you do happen to be out. But otherwise, clear skies on Friday night. And going into Saturday, you'll see a high of 52 degrees, and it'll be sun and clouds throughout the day, but more towards the sunny side. Very pleasant weather all throughout the day and into Saturday night. And for Easter Sunday, you'll see temperatures all the way up to 62 degrees and just beautiful weather throughout the day. Absolutely awesome to have for April. That'll do it for the Central PA forecast. Now here's Joe Ruch with a feature on severe weather safety.
In Pennsylvania, severe weather can occur in many different forms and fashions. These types of weather can pose life-threatening consequences if the proper precautions are not taken. Each type of weather has different mitigation of efforts that can be done to keep you and your loved ones safe. Today, we'll be taking a look at tornadoes, severe thunderstorms, lightning, and flooding safety, as well as addressing a few myths. A tornado is a violently rotating column of air in contact with the ground. The wind speeds inside a tornado range from under 100 miles an hour, upwards of 300 miles an hour. Here in Pennsylvania, we rank in the top 25 for tornado occurrences in the entire United States, averaging nearly 28 tornadoes per year.
Yeah, if you hear a watch is out, it's really something where you just need to kind of keep in the back of your mind, conditions are possible later on, forewarnings to be put out, maybe with your family or kids, review, what you would do if a warning's put out, if you need to get to your safe place, review, where that is, make sure you've got, belongings and that necessities that you would need if the worst were to happen and you were to be, stranded if a tornado were to hit. And then, if a warning is issued, that's where you actually take all that preparation, put it into place immediately at the time of, get in, take your action at that point, get to your place of safety.
A common myth when stuck in a car during a tornado is to hide under an overpass, but this, in turn, is actually more dangerous.
You can actually get acceleration of wind under there, and there's no protection on any sides. So if that buckles too, Some of them are sturdier than others, but if it buckles, you're stuck in there, and you're really not protected from the most dangerous part of a tornado or wind is the debris.
For this reason, it is critical to plan ahead when a watch is issued to stay weather aware and avoid being in the situation where you're forced to jump in a ditch, covering your head as a last resort. When it comes to severe thunderstorms, they can produce a variety of life-threatening weather events ranging from tornadoes to large hail. The National Weather Service has 3 main ingredients they look for when attempting to forecast severe weather.
A source of lift to produce the thunderstorms, we need instabilities, basically warm, moist air coming in, and then, of course, the moisture, a source to create the clouds and thunderstorms.
Similar to a tornado, a watch means conditions are favorable and severe weather is possible in the future. A warning means a severe thunderstorm is imminent, and it's time to head inside. This leads to our next threat of lightning safety. There have been 275 lightning deaths between 2010 and 2020, and many of these deaths, surprisingly, come as no precipitation is falling.
What's called the anvil portion of a thunderstorm, or the top layer that kind of flattens out way high in the atmosphere, looks kind of like a flat white pancake, if you will, as the storm passes. So there's often times where you'll see that trailing and the rain's all out ahead of you, so you think you're safe. People go back outside, and then you can actually get isolated strikes out of the back of that, which are extremely dangerous. So that's where we get a lot of our unfortunate lightning fatalities.
Severe thunderstorms can also produce flash flooding, which is more common in some places than others.
Sure, and flash flooding can really happen anywhere. Overall, it's going to be most common in urban areas or areas where water and the rain can't soak into the ground as well.
So when stuck in a flash flooding situation, it's important to remember the motto, turn around, don't drown. So the next time you find yourself in one of these situations, I hope that some of these educational tips, tricks, and myths can help you keep you and your loved ones safe. For Weather or Not, I'm Joe Ruch.
Hello again, student meteorologist Michael Jablonski, back at it with the extended forecast. So, giving a quick recap of the weekend here, you'll see conditions going from chilly to cheerful as we have below average temperatures on Friday, around average temperatures on Saturday, and above average temperatures on Sunday, and shouldn't expect any rain or snow during these days. But as for next week, can't quite say the same. We'll see a lot of overcast skies occurring throughout the week, especially Tuesday through Thursday. We'll also see some chances for rain on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, although conditions might end up being better than expected, so something to keep an eye on in the upcoming days. As for temperatures, you'll see a range between the low to high 50s and nighttime conditions remaining relatively mild, unlike what you'll expect on Friday. So, if you are able to take advantage of the lovely weather this weekend, I would recommend doing so. Personally, I have a birthday coming up this weekend, so I know I'll be looking forward to that. But that'll do it for the extended forecast. Now here's Salix with the Weather Whiz Quiz question.
And now for the Weather Whiz Quiz question. How many days has the growing season in State College increased since 1970? Is it A, 6, B, 18, C, 22, or D, 32?
And the correct answer is C, 22. And to specify, growing season is defined as the number of consecutive days above freezing. Now, personally, I have nothing against embracing those sharp winter weather conditions, but I'm sure there are plenty of folks out there who are glad for more pleasant temperatures each year.
Yes, a longer growing season does mean that we are capable of producing more food and crops, but the negative impacts of increased pollen is a major downside for those who suffer from allergies. Anyways, that's all the time that we have for this week's episode of Whether or Not. I'm Salix Iverson.
And I'm MJ. Have a great weekend.